Thank you all so much for being here. I think in my history with the city, I think this is the most people we've ever seen. So thank you so much for coming and seeing what we do. There's a few people that I want to thank. And first of all, and most importantly, I want to thank some of our city staff members. These guys came in. They've been working all week trying to do some very special things for all of you. If you can see the decorations that they all did that on their own time. They actually were on their hands and knees today, steaming each and every one of the little drapes and the tablecloths that you see. They took care of the food. They do such a wonderful job. And I'd like to thank a few of those if you bear with me. Yeah. I'm going to read their names. Pam Boggs, Tammy Bowen, Shelley Grelly, Karen Jankowski, Webb Warren, Cheryl Wyron, and Hetty Vahabzadeh. I'd also like to thank Mr. Doug Rayner. He is our Public Information Manager, and he helped put this program together for us. And if you know me and you know me well, I change everything at the 11th hour. And of course, today, this afternoon, running over, want just two more pictures in here. And he's been so patient and so kind, and you did a fabulous job, and I want to thank you for that. Thank you, Doug. Now I want to introduce our wonderful city council. We have with us tonight Mayor Pro Tem Sandy Trammell, right here. Councilmember Kyron Marlar. Here. Councilmember Jim Bagby, Councilmember Larry Willigas, Councilmember Tuffy Dixon, he's back here, Councilmember Jim Wood, who you saw earlier, Councilmember Jim Foreman, our city manager, Miss Marianne Eustick, and last but certainly not the least, our city attorney, Mr. Jerry Miller. Where are you? Thank you. We also have a few distinguished guests with us tonight, people we couldn't do anything, move forward with this city without. And first of all, I'd like to introduce Mr. Ted Paco, and I want it from the Sheriff's Department. He's not only just, a captain in your Sheriff's Department, but he really is part of the Destin team because he's at all of our meetings and makes sure that we are safe. Ted, would you please stand up? Thank you. We also have Major Greg Gaddis with us. Ms. Kay Rasmussen from the EDC. Mr. Shane Moody, CEO, Destin Chamber of Commerce. Former chairman of the board of the Destin Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Bill Lindsley. We have Mayor Craig Barker. Where are you? Always a mayor, my friend, always a mayor. We have Mr. Dan O'Byrne from the TDC. And if you please, if we could have all the City of Destin committee members, would you please stand? Thank you so much. Okay, we are so blessed in this city to have an amazing city council, and I want to talk a little bit about each and every one of them, but before I do that, I have a few to thank. These outstanding gentlemen left service to the city this past year, Mr. Dewey Destin, Mr. Tom Weidenhammer, and Mr. Larry Hines, and we thank them so much for their service. And now a little bit about your seated council. We have Mr. Jim Bagby. Mr. Bagby is one of our key leaders in making sure the city operates as efficiently and effectively as possible. He is also a strong advocate for the Sterling process. This process is important in identifying what is important to our city's successes and keeps us on target with identifying goals and successful measures. He serves on the Walton-Okaloosa-Santa Rosa Regional Utility Authority, and he is also the alternate for the Okaloosa-Walton Transportation Planning Organization. Next up, we have Councilman Tuffy Dixon. He was elected in 2012, and it's his first time on council, but he's certainly not a stranger to the city of Destin. He spent 19 years as our fire chief, and we're very proud of that for Tuffy. He's also on the board of the YMCA, Florida's Emerald Coast. He also serves as the primary appointee on the Okaloosa County Tourist Development Council Board. He is also a member of the Destin Water Users Board. Mr. Jim Foreman served an interim appointment in August of 2012, and he was elected in 2012 of this past year. His previous terms include 96 to 2000 and 2002 to 2006. We're very excited to have him back because his history and knowledge of the CRAs. He was also our first CRA chairman, and he's a huge proponent of the American Legion. He serves as our primary appointee on the Okaloosa County Economic Council Policy Board, Economic Development Council Policy Board, and he's also a board member of the Destin Water Users. Mr. Kyron Marler was elected March 2012. His previous terms were 2000 to 2004 and 2004 to 2008. He's from a long line of Destinites, or Marlers, and he keeps the history and heritage of our Christmas tradition alive, a tradition it's almost 100 years old, as he hosts a Christmas tree lighting ceremony each and every year for us. He serves as an alternate appointment to the Okaloosa County Public Library Co-op, and that is his brand new wife of last year, so we're very excited for him. Next up, we have our Mayor Pro Tem, Ms. Sandy Trammell. She is involved in the Okaloosa County Public Library Co-op as our primary appointee. She serves on the Northwest Florida League of Cities Board of Directors. She is also the chair of the Community Redevelopment Agency Board that oversaw the Destin Harbor Boardwalk Project. She also serves on the Destin Water Users Board of Directors. Mr. Larry Willigus is a proponent of pedestrian and vehicle safety and is always environmentally conscious when working through his policy decisions. He is an active member of ARMAD, or Active Retired Men of Destin. He serves on the Okaloosa-Walton Transportation Planning Organization and also a director on the YMCA Emerald Coast Board of Directors. He is also a member of the Seniors of Destin and is a major advocate for all seniors in the community. And you're probably asking me where that picture came from. Love it. Next up, Mr. Jim Wood. His drive to serve the citizens of this city is unparalleled. He is a member of countless organizations throughout the community and county. He is also president of the Lions Club, Sandestin Lions Club, as well as the Lions Club of Northwest Florida. He's also a member of ARMAD, Active Retired Men of Destin, and he serves as chair of the Okaloosa-Walton Transportation Planning Organization. And this past year, his second year, because his team felt like he did such a wonderful job, they asked him to serve again, and we're very proud to have that for us. He's also a member of the Regional TPO and the BRAC Task Force Subcommittee. Sometimes being a city council member is not such an easy job because it's really hard to make a whole lot of people happy. And it reminded me of a quote that I'd read a couple years ago, and I'd like to share that with you. It says, "Leaders establish the vision for the future. They set the strategy for getting there. They cause change. They motivate and they inspire others to go in the right direction, and they, along with everyone else, sacrifice to get there." So let's thank the Destin City Council. You've got an amazing group of folks, and I thank you for your service. Our community partners. We cannot do what we do in this city without our community partners. And I want to share, there is so much that our community partners do with us, but I can only share a few things because of time, so I'm going to start right here. Well, first of all, I want to thank the Destin Chamber of Commerce. They are the driving force behind the Six Pillars Communities, which is a strategic process for economic growth. They partner with us on so many other things, and they are great to bounce ideas off of. The Choctawhatchee Basin Alliance, they share resources with us. They assisted in the Noriega Point Sea Oak planning, and they help the city coordinate volunteers for different special projects throughout the city. Our Destin Fire Control District, they won the 2012 James McCarthy Memorial Southeast Regional Life Saving Championship. This was the third year in the row that they did that. Also on their day-to-day job, not such a great thing, but in a way it is, they rescued 122 people last year off of our beaches. So we thank them for that. The Destin Charter Boat Association, they hosted a very successful 34th Annual Seafood Festival. Of course, our Sheriff's Department, we're back there. Our Sheriff's Department worked with our city to reduce costs while maintaining a high level of protection for Destin. Captain Ted Paco attends Monday staff meetings, as I said before. Also, what could we do without our county and TDC? And as you well know, we're currently completing the Western Destin Beach Restoration Project. So we're very excited about that. City services. Our city services did not suffer one single bit. In fact, we increased some services this past year, despite our budget constraints. And I have a list. I'm not going to share it with you because you can't read it. But we asked our city staff what it was. There are 28 items on this list of how they cut back, and we're real proud of that. Want to talk a little bit about the beautiful Morgan Sports Center. We thank Charles Morgan and his family for their enormous contribution to this part of our recreation program. This $3.7 million facility opened in October of 2000 with 4 regulation softball fields, 2 Little League baseball fields, 3 soccer fields, a volleyball court, and a children's park. The sports center is lighted for evening play. This year, we built a new pavilion, and before it was even complete, we started receiving reservations for that. We have a beautiful park system with 10 parks, 12 beach accesses. Our community center, they provide so many things for the children's programs and festivals. We hosted more than 12 large community events this past year, one of those being the Wounded Warriors softball team. And I can tell you the guy that's standing to the left of me, he's 22 years old. He lost both of his legs in Afghanistan. And that guy is a tenacious softball player. It was amazing. He was really good. Moving on to our beautiful library. More than 75,000 items were circulated in 2012, and more than 2,000 new items were added to the collection. We have an amazing children's reading program, adult learning classes such as photography and social media. We are using ebooks now more than ever. We hosted 2 large art exhibits this year by members of the Okaloosa Art Alliance, one called Photos Meet Fabric. And our wonderful volunteers of the Destin Garden Club enhanced our landscaping around the library, and it looks truly beautiful. This year, we enhanced information technology by working with Okaloosa County to leverage existing fiber infrastructure to improve efficiency by staff increasing bandwidth for computer operations between all facilities. They consolidated phone systems and other communication costs between all 6 major city facilities. This effort resulted in a reduction of several $1,000s in annual operating costs. Our community development department, we launched a new educational information program for property owners specifically addressing stormwater management, swale maintenance, and its importance to help reduce water quality and water quantity. The staff has led several neighborhood meetings on this subject. They developed a PowerPoint presentation and assisted the public information manager in providing swale information on the city's website. They developed a tracking system to more efficiently and accurately approve new business tax receipts application for those properties located along the harbor. And that is our community development director, who was going through a little bit of a midlife crisis and through that. Thank God it's gone. Last year, building permit was up by 20%, and the inspections were up by about 40%. Our next department, we could not do what we do without the city clerk department. Because of transparency, we've got to record all meetings. These guys, the city clerk and the deputy city clerk, attended and recorded 123 after-hour meetings in 2012. They logged in over 185 hours this past year and typed up 123 sets of minutes. Very incredible. And I'm going to discuss a little bit later some of the ways that we saved them a little time this year. Our finance department, all things considered, we are in good financial position. In 2012, we received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report for the 17th year in a row. We also received the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada for the 8th year in a row. We continue to have one of the lowest millage rates in Florida at 1.455 mils, and we reduced our city general fund debt by over $5 million since 2009. Managing to keep services high with a declining budget, Destin definitely knows how to stretch a dollar, and that's how far our budget dipped down. And here are a few things, again, our staff does for us. They gave us a list of 26 different items of how they reduce the cost for city government, and that's what we're supposed to do, and we really appreciate that. Moving on to public services. Last year, we installed new sidewalks along 4 roads, approximately 4,000 feet of sidewalk repairs. We restriped 5 roads, completed annual citywide tree trimming, and installed a new Welcome to Destin sign this year on the west side of Marler Bridge. And we saved a couple $1,000s because our staff did the work on that. And I can't imagine that was too easy. Next up, our quality staff. You know, city council members, we sit up here on the dais and we get all the credit and the cameras are always on us, but we stand on the shoulders of some phenomenal people. And they deserve all the credit for everything we do here at City Hall. I'm telling you that. We have a dedicated city staff that works to improve the quality of life for all residents by continually evaluating its processes. This includes customer service training, internal communication enhancement, technology advancements, and future workforce planning. The city employment has decreased by 26% from the peak of 2007. There have been no layoffs. This was all accomplished through attrition. We recognize this year our Employee of the Year, Karen Jankowski, who is with the Human Resource Department, and our Leader of the Year, our City Clerk, Mr. Ray Bailey, with Community Service Awards this past year. And this was made even more special. You can see in the picture, Helen Hunt Rigdon from Jeff Miller's office came and presented them with awards as well from Congressman Miller. And she also comes to our quarterly awards presentation, and she presents with them too. And we're very blessed to have her. This past year, we celebrated with Mr. Larry Ballard, our building inspector, 25 years of service to this great city. So that was pretty amazing for us. You guys, one of the most valuable assets that we have, and an item that you will never see in a line item on a budget, is our city staff. When you look at over 60% of our staff has been here 10 plus years, that says a lot. There is no value that you can put in the budget line of keeping good people long term and not having the turnover that we have. So as you can see, it's really amazing for the city. It doesn't happen that often in a lot of cities. City highlights. You know, everything I do with my time, and I don't know about yours, but everything I do with my time, I always ask myself, is what I'm doing or about to do, is it going to make a difference? And the same goes with the city of Destin. Are we making a difference? I'm going to share with you a few things, and at the end, I'm going to ask you if we do. Our dog park. On January 7th of this last year, we opened the dog park, which is a tremendous asset for our community. The city receives regular calls from other municipalities asking how we were able to build such a great park in tough budget times. The answer? Dedicated volunteers. And I'd like to shout out a very special thanks to Miss Nancy Weidenhammer. Interestingly enough, the city of Destin was recognized not only once but twice. We received the Florida City and County Management Association Award for Program Excellence, and our Mayor Pro Tem, Sandy Trammell, picked up the Northwest Florida League of Cities Community of Excellence Award for us. So we were recognized twice last year for that. We were also featured article, had to have a little laugh with that one, in the Florida League of Cities Quality Cities magazine in the May-June edition. So we are so proud of that dog park. It's, there's a lot going on with that. My next item is going to be lengthy. I'm going to forewarn you. Take my sip before I go. 4 years. People have worked towards having a harbor boardwalk, a continuous festive marketplace that really highlights our wonderful harbor district. In 1995, a steering committee was formed by the Destin Chamber of Commerce, and the Vision 2000 plan was born. In 1999, the Destin City Council appointed members to the Destin Harbor Task Force to continue the vision. This group produced the Destin Harbor Area Master Plan. Though these plans did not make it through to completion, they form the foundation of what the boardwalk is today. In March of 2001, the City Council voted to create a private committee to continue to discussions of a harbor boardwalk. It was called the North Shore Landowners Committee, made up over 50-plus volunteers, which was tasked with presenting a draft proposal to the council. In February of 2002, the City Council voted to adopt the proposal. Elements from all plans were then implemented into the Comprehensive Plan and the Land Development Code. In 2003, the City Council was the catalyst to get this project kick-started by forming the Harbor CRA to provide the necessary funding. June 20th, the ribbon cutting and a most successful taste of the boardwalk with local restaurants. That was an amazing day for all of us. Today, we have more than 1,600 linear feet of new decking, lighting, landscaping, bringing more visitors to the harbor area, and it increases public access to the waterfront and preserves the harbor's unique characteristics. It also adds marketability to Destin's phenomenal charter fishing fleet. The reason we have this boardwalk is because of the perseverance and the determination from our citizenry, our property owners, our harbor business owners, our CRA advisory committees, and the CRA board members, and our city staff. This project was successful because of all those involved understood that this most certainly was going to have to be a give-and-take project. You see, folks, some people got some people didn't get any, but cumulatively together, we made this thing work. And in the spirit of cooperation, decisions were made to bring this project to fruition despite those individual needs. This project truly embraces the nature of a public-private partnership, and one we are so very proud of. Thank you. This year, in July, our city staff launched an incredible new website. This website allows for instant notification for things like emergency alert, news flashes, agendas, and calendar listings. And I don't know if you can see up here, but right here, we have the Notify Me button. If you go on our website, you click on that, put Notify Me, put your web address in there, and guess what? You're going to get, or your email address, and you're going to get notified just like we do. And that's what we need for transparency in our city. We use the new website to notify public and media of storm news and city-county updates. During Hurricane Isaac, our online hurricane information guide was viewed by more than 1,800 people during that time. The new site includes a city help desk that customers can submit questions, requests, or complaints if they want to, and increased accessibility to our bid process. This also provides an online database of public records, which has drastically reduced the amount of calls to the clerk's office. Remember when I talked earlier and told you that we helped those guys out a little bit? That's how we did it. And we decreased those requests by about 40% this year. Coleman-Kelly Lake improvements. We had some issues with Coleman-Kelly over the last probably 20-something years. Coleman-Kelly Lake serves as an outfall for a significant watershed in the city. We had to perform an emergency project this year that replaced very old rusted standpipes, which served as the outfall for Coleman's Lake. One of the standpipes was found to have rusted through, and 2 more were in nearly bad state. The repair was undertaken to perform long-term replacement of the outfall before a total failure of the outfall system at the lake occurred. Noriega Point, we actually did a lot of protective measures this past year after Tropical Storm Debbie, and we also dredged the mouth of the harbor this year. We put sheet pile in and a cap, and that actually held up all through Isaac pretty well. We were very pleased with that. We also embarked on a major sea oak planting and sand fences along the north shore of the point. It was a true community effort. We had 114 volunteers that helped us, and you can see our youthful-looking Miss Marianne Eustick. She looks like a little girl out there planting those sea oats. And we could not have done this without all the financial and in-kind donations of 22 organizations and individuals that donated money and resources to make this happen. And we can't thank everyone enough. And this is another thing that the Choctawhatchee Basin Alliance helped us with. We finally got some fantastic representation on the Okaloosa County Commission. We are so excited. Our very own and former City Councilman Captain Kelly Wines was elected this past year, and we are so excited for him. I had to mention that. Sorry, we had to put that in. This past year, we were honored to have 2 visits from the governor's office. He actually sat in a room with us, and several of you here in the room were with us. He actually listened. He asked a lot of questions. He stayed there and spent a heck of a lot of time with us to learn what we needed from him. He also has this ongoing riff with the governor of Texas, Mr. Rick Perry, about whose state is best. So he asked Rick Perry to come over to the city of Destin in a fishing tournament. What he left out is where he was going to bring him to. And where do you think the best place he did? The world's luckiest fishing village. And guess what? Governor Scott, our governor, won. So we gave him a little certificate of appreciation and a photo of Destin to always remind him of Destin. Our seniors, this year we honored Bernie Colley as the Senior of the Year for his dedication to the seniors of Destin. Our senior program is really growing. We have 369 seniors to date, and those programs include lunch bunch, trips, golf outings, tennis, movies, and a whole lot more. And they eat really well, steaks and things like that for lunch. It's amazing. One of the things the City Council embarked upon this year was to appoint a group of volunteers made up of contractors, development consultants, economic development representatives, and they work with the city staff to help evaluate and provide specific recommendations focused on development review, permitting process improvements. Ladies and gentlemen, every now and then you probably are going to hear about the citizen survey and things like that. We listen. We heard that there were some issues in the permitting process and other things. And what a better way to get the great information we need than to go out into the community and ask those folks who work this day to day and provide the information back to us. Here's a list of some of the things that they recommended for improvements. It was presented to the City Council and adopted, and now staff is working to implement the recommendations. This is an example of a true bottom-up approach for our city, and one that we embrace truly. This past year, we had one of the most successful open houses ever. We recognized more than 40 volunteers in attendance who received a Team Destin lapel pin, although we have a total of 200 different volunteers in our community. Approximately 275 community attendees were there, and our city staff fed each and every one of them. The city provided a document shredding truck for the public to use this day. We had 10 community partners that displayed their services at that open house, and we also recognized 10 committees for their hard work to the city. Last year, we participated in the first ever Municipal Job Shadow Program that was hosted by the Okaloosa County League of Cities during City Government Week. We are the only county in Florida to ever implement this very successful program. There were 22 municipal participants from police chiefs, fire chiefs, mayors, council members, and staff. This was a tremendous learning experience for everyone involved. The sharing of information and resources were totally invaluable to us. In March of this year, we implemented the use of iPads for council members, mayor, city manager, clerk, and IT. We replaced all those paper packets that the city council gets for our council meeting. We saved thousands of dollars in time, gas, and paper as well. You know, you just can't put a dollar amount on the increased efficiency for staff and council. It has drastically cut prep time, allowing staff to concentrate on other areas of service to our community. It provided accelerated information, and it allowed us to grow smarter and faster. Joe's Bayou and Henderson Beach passes. Got to thank Mayor Barker for some of this right here. Our citizens last year got 500 boat passes and 1,500 beach passes to Henderson Park, and they still enjoy that benefit. Last year, our Arbor Day celebration consisted of us going out and planting a tree. Destin was recertified in 2012 as a Tree City USA. This is the 10th year in a row that the city has received this certification. We continue to work with Tree City USA programs, and we celebrated the Arbor Day with a successful event at the new dog park. And you can see there was a school that brought some of the kids, and they learned a little bit about that too, so that was really neat. We provide, at our Public Services Department, recycling drop-off to benefit condos. We provided year-round bulk pickup, and code enforcement has seen less illegal dumping and cleaner neighborhoods. We provide solar trash compactors along the boardwalk with recycling, and we partnered with Waste Management to implement a Green Rewards program through Recycle Bank with a goal to encourage residential recycling. We will soon have statistics on recycling in Destin, and we'll set all of our future goals. Because of the work of our staff, over the past year, code enforcement has seen an 80% reduction in delinquent waste service accounts this past year. We continue to use social media to reach residents and businesses, finding creative and easily accessible means to convey our messages to the public. More than 3,400 views of Okaloosa Today were viewed on YouTube channel. Our leisure services are effectively using Facebook, our Destin Recreation, and the library as well. Looking ahead, folks, as we look back on all the accomplishments that I just told you about, I have to ask you the question again, did we make a difference? I would say we did. You know, we've got a lot of challenges that are ahead of us. We've got to stabilize Noriega Point. We've got some traffic safety issues that we need to deal with. But I will tell you, we've got a very, very strong foundation on which to stand. Our geographical location alone sets us apart, as we are located in paradise with the most beautiful water and beaches in the world. Gives us an advantage that not a lot of other cities have. We are fiscally sound, and that's good to hear. We've got outstanding schools. We have one of the largest fishing fleets in the state of Florida. We've got a committed city council who really rules from the heart. They really do. And we've got a dedicated city staff. Most importantly, we have the most dedicated citizens who truly care about who we are as a city. As we look to the horizon, we've got some pretty incredible indications that our economy is on the rise. Again, real estate sales increased in Destin, both in single-family homes and in condominiums. Tourism has increased about 30% since 2010. 17 businesses joined the Destin Chamber of Commerce in the past 60 days, and what does that tell you? We also have a couple of new businesses coming into town with hundreds of new jobs. And in May, the Maddie Kelly Arts Cultural Village and Pavilion will be completed, bringing thousands of people in, as well as hosting world-renowned talent. This monumental landmark will be a game changer for Destin in terms of taking us to a whole different new level. We've got a tremendous future ahead of us, and I look forward to walking down that path with each and every one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the state of the city of Destin.